Just for fun, how many here know, raise your hands if you know who Muggsy Bogues is?
Muggsy's got a lot of fans here.
Pretty educated group, good. Muggsy, of course, is the shortest player to ever play in the NBA, 5'3". As a kid, he was 5 years old, he was buying candy, and there was a robbery in the candy store, and he was shot. He grew up in a very, very tough neighborhood in Baltimore, and loved basketball. It was tiny. And the kids, you know, those of you who know kids, the kids can be brutal. So yeah, what kind of basketball? You can't play basketball, stupid, you're a peewee, you know? This is what he had all his life. You're a peewee, you can't play. And as luck would have it, the high school that was in his district was Dunbar High, which many of you may know is one of the leading high school basketball programs in the country. In fact, the team that Muggsy was on, 4 of the kids on that team made the NBA, on a high school team, made the NBA. So, you know, you're never gonna make the team at Dunbar, stupid. Well, he did. And then, of course, he was told that he'd better get great grades to go to college because he sure as heck isn't gonna get a basketball scholarship at 5'3". Well, he did get a scholarship to Wake Forest. And what Muggsy talks about, and you get the chills when you talk to him about it, is that evening in June when he was sitting in Madison Square Garden in New York, and the basketball draft was going on, the NBA draft, and David Stern, commissioner of the NBA, said, and for the 14th pick in the first round, the Washington Bullets select Muggsy Bogues. That, you know, really defined. He was right, they were wrong. Persistence, resilience, dealing with rejection, it all added up to that. A 14-year career, 3 years an All-Star, and learning, and one of the things about resilience is learning to play, to even take your weakness and make it a strength. The first game that Washington played, that Muggsy was in, was against the Lakers. And Magic Johnson, a pretty good basketball player, at 6'9", was assigned to guard Muggsy Bogues. And at the end of the first half, Magic went to the coach and said, "Get this kid off me." Because of course, what Muggsy learned is there's a law of gravity that says if you're short, you're closer to the floor, you see? And when the ball bounces off the floor, it's gonna come to you before it's gonna come to a tall guy. And so he would pick Magic's pocket over and over and over again, steal the ball, drive down and score. So again, that size, that 5'3", should be a fatal flaw in the NBA, and for most people it would be. But he learned how to use it and turn it into an asset. We have a young man who's playing right now, Earl Boykins, who we were responsible for Denver drafting, and there have been a few other short guys like that. Well, Earl is a giant compared to Muggsy, he's 5'5". So there are a few, but again, Muggsy led the way. It isn't only the giants that can play. And you know, that thing of resilience, I really should spend a minute talking about the importance of that to you in selecting people, in managing people, particularly if you're looking at salespeople, or at any job actually, where persuasion is important. Because in sales, rejection is the name of the game. I'm sure most of you know. No salesperson closes 50% of their contacts. If they do, well, either they lead a rich fantasy life or they're lying or whatever. There's an old Rambler commercial on radio. You know, Rambler was a car. Those of you who are that old maybe remember. It featured Elmer Blurp, the world's lowest power salesman. Elmer would come up to the door and go, "Nobody home, I hope," you know. And of course it was a commercial, so the door would be flung open by a woman, grab Elmer by the scruff of the neck and make him sell her a Rambler. Well, sales don't work that way. And yet in the gut, in every salesperson's gut, there are those times that they nobody home, I hope, because you don't want another kick. You know, you don't want another rejection. You don't want to, you know. So the ability for anyone to bounce back, to put rejection, to put failure in its place, to know that's the name of the game, and to not have a 3-hour lunch or a 3-day drunk, but to just go after the next opportunity. That resilience is critical in sports, because sports is a game of failure. It's critical in business, it's critical in life, because, you know, every successful person will tell you, every successful person in our book will tell you that the failures along the way were numerous, but you got to fail sometimes in order to succeed. So that resilience is so critical.